Alright.
Happening.
Everyone roll a d20 for me. I'm going to take the highest number to give us a little bit of a recap from last
it's
week.
fucking homework again, isn't it?
Homework again as I send you on to the caves to help refresh your memory.
Or middle of the road roll, that's good. See?
When
Could
you're
be up,
in
could be
there.
down.
Oh. Manuel seems to be on top. Constantine's gone quite low. Toe has gone low. So Manuel, give us a little bit of a insight as to what happened last week.
Very good, excellent. One always likes to be on top, if possible. So what we did last week, in dramatic difference to the week before, is we decided instead of trying to slowly hack our way through regenerating plant monster after plant monster, we decided to hack our way through them slightly quicker. And in fact, instead of going straight on, we in fact went right. And what we found was the cheeky buggers had been kind of regenerating themselves in some type of magic pool type of thing. A big floating phallus-like mushroom descended from the ceiling, poisoning both myself and some of my colleagues with its noxious spores after exploding, after it was thoroughly hammered by Rich's character. And then that's about as far as we got, I seem to remember. Plants died, characters were wounded, sagas were made. That's about it, I think.
Very good. I think that it was very well done. So give yourself an inspiration on your character sheet.
Very good.
Very
Thank you
nicely
very much,
done.
sir.
And final element of that recap was just before we left off. There were two elements. One was that just above Garavid, there was another one of these purpley looking creatures that hadn't descended yet, but was just above where he was standing. And the other one was that you noticed that the water right at the base of the waterfall seemed to be shimmering in a slightly different way to what the rest of the pool, and there might be something at the base of it. Okay, what do you do? We left off, I believe, with Toe running away, Keith following him behind, Garavid finishing off one of the extra guys. There doesn't seem to be anyone moving, but these people in the pool were not also dead. They were ripping their head around to look in the direction of anyone who was coming close.
Have I seen this fella above me? People shouted to me that there's something above me.
Someone told you that, I believe Emmanuel came up at the very end and would have yelled out to you to watch out, yes.
Alright, can I move away then?
You can.
My dear chap, I'm quite happy to slowly burn this large phallus on top of you. If you want to come and stand back to me, my sweet prince. And we should kill them all for Bernard.
Right, so
Bertram, rather,
I'll
which I
stand
forgot was
behind
was the most distressing thing of last session.
Go and stand behind you like a little girl.
All right.
That's the spirit, my sweet
Towering
prince.
above you, but from behind.
So Emmanuel, you're wanting to fire off a.
In fact, no, I'll go with.
But based on the fact that my character is actually quite intelligent, I want to do that, making sure that my experience of being blasted in the face by this puffball, though I'm not actually in what I think will be puffing range.
Okay, make a quick survival check, just to see if you're able to determine how far away from this thing.
Here it comes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's fine. You saw from when the gas exploded before it was in a round. You were standing about 20 feet away from this thing when it exploded previously, and it just got into your senses, but it didn't seem to go too much further past you. So you're probably guessing stay a bit more than 20 feet away, and you should be okay.
So we're you relay that to me, I assume, and then go, all right, we're good to go. We can go a little bit, because we can shoot quite a long way, can we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to go. Move in a little bit closer. It'll be fine.
Move up. Be one of
All right.
us. All right. So you're wanting to fire off a fireball at it.
I am indeed.
Firebolt, I should say. Okay.
Firebolt,
Go
yeah,
for it.
absolutely.
Roll for your attack.
Okay, very good. Roll for the attack on Firebolt. Where are we? Here we are.
Oh, that's a lovely roll.
So you're sort of telling people to move back, and you stumble on a rock as you're stepping backwards as you're going, and fall down and graze your elbow as you fall down. You actually manage to do a little bit of damage to it. Hit the funny bone as well. It doesn't feel very good. Don't take any additional damage, but it doesn't feel good at that point in time.
It's smarts.
The creature sort of hovers and then sort of goes slowly back up again. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I'll Eldritch Blast him then. Are we still in turn order or not?
You're not in turn order at this moment in time.
I should blast the bugger then. No,
so you're sort of out of combat for this moment in time. That will hit with a 21. Roll damage. Actually, before you roll damage, you probably don't need to. It only has 1 hit point. You fire this Eldritch Blast into it, and it just goes and explodes out, and sort of just explodes out within 20 feet, and then sort of slowly falls down to the ground in front of your feet, seemingly inert at this point in time.
Cool.
Okay.
So we've got where's Toe? Because we can. So if we're looking around, we can see that we've dealt with the obvious hostility.
Have we? We checked the ceilings and stuff.
The stationary.
Make an investigation check, Garavid, when you're looking around at the ceilings and stuff. Just to see.
Should we all have a look at the ceilings? I'll hold me stone up.
Yeah, you can all sort of look around at the ceilings from where you are.
No.
Okay. Constantine, you're standing around and sort of wanting to look up at the ceilings, but your neck's a little bit sore from the battle and all of the blinking in and out elements, so you're still a little bit disoriented. With that investigation, so you are certain that this room is clear of any more of these holes or these purple creatures on the roof. You see that this room doesn't have any of the bioluminescent sort of material on the walls still, but there is quite a shine and sheen coming off the water above. You will still notice that these creatures in the water are just, as you're moving back and forward, the ones in the top pool are still moving their heads around. The ones in the bottom pool, the water is still flowing up and slowly making its way up these creatures, but they are still yet to show any animation or anything there.
Can I move?
Cirrus has got out of the water and stepped off to the side as well with all of you.
I think I'll move down here. Have a look at this shine off the.
I'll come down with you and be like, be careful.
Bring that light down, Bernard. Emmanuel.
I'll bring my magic stone with me.
Yeah.
And I will go and get Toe, because I think if he's.
Yep.
I can go that way just to call him and go.
Okay, Toe, are you still bolting out of this cave, or what are you doing?
I was legging it on my turn.
Okay, so you probably go another double pace out of the cave from where you are. So you'll have to do a bit of a chase to get up to him as you're running out there, Constantine.
Making scared bitchy bear noises.
You're making some loud bear noises?
No, not loud bear, not like scared, like
scared, whimpering bear noises.
And my dash is double my distance, isn't it?
Double your distance, yeah.
So if I get to there,
yeah,
then I can probably, because that's about 60 foot, I could probably see him.
Yep.
And go.
Oi.
Okay.
Oi. Yogi.
What?
All right. Roll for me. Are you trying? You're just trying to do it as loud as possible to get his attention, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
sorry, roll something.
No.
No, don't need to roll anything. Yeah, I mean, Toe, you hear this loud whistle behind you that you hadn't heard in the caves up until now. You see also, as you turn around, some of that bioluminescent light flickering off the wall as something obviously is moving in this area where you now see Constantine standing there, whistling out at you.
Alright, then I'll come back.
Okay.
Slowly, mostly, tentatively.
Both of you, just as you're coming back, make a perception check.
Oh.
Quick.
Okay, wrong.
Why?
Oh, sorry. 9.
Oh, no.
Oh, damn.
All right, so. All right. Toe, you are still in your bear form, and I believe bears have good smell.
Oh, lovely.
Constantine, you won't notice really anything. You hear a little bit of that dum 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 sound. About 5 of them this time. Not much else. Toe, you smell something that hasn't been a sense that you've had in this cave up until now, but you smell this sort of rotten, sort of a little rotteny sort of, I want to say a rotteny, musty sort of, you know, that when you get that floury taste in the top of your mouth when something doesn't smell really that good, that sort of thing. That's the sort of smell that you've got in your bear form. You're sort of trying to bat away at your nose to try to work out where that's coming from, and it's definitely sort of coming from sort of the northeastern side of where you are at this moment in time. That sort of, for at least this moment in time, was sort of wafting in to your nose.
Alright. Shit, well, I'm still bare, so I can't really think about it. But I'll maybe look a bit hurt. I'll sniff the air and kind of whack Constantine with my bare head. And maybe.
Yeah.
And try and make him do the same thing.
Okay. So, Constantine, you've got this sort of bear next to you, sort of sniffing the air just as he got close to you, but basically runs up and trying to indicate something to you. Just quickly make a bit of a perception check for me, just to see if you sort of understand what he's trying to get across.
Saying if you can smell Bisto.
Yeah, so you get an idea that he smells something nearby. You get that sense that he's trying to get you to also be aware of it.
Okay.
Where he is. Okay. Whilst you're doing that, before you go any further, so the guys at the pool, Garavid, you've walked up to the pool. What are you doing?
Yeah, so you said it was a bit shiny and stuff. Can I see anything in the water? Is it coming off the water?
Okay.
Is it the water itself?
How close are you getting to this water at this
I'm
moment
just on the
in
edge.
time?
Just on the edge there.
You're on the edge of glory. Okay. Yeah. So where you're standing, and you really trying not to get your toes in the water or anything as you're there.
So,
When you look in, you can see at the bottom of the waterfall, you see a body of at the base of the waterfall, right in underneath. Or for anyone who's there, feel free to make a perception check, except for Keith. So just Manuel and Garavid make a check there.
Thanks.
Okay, Emmanuel, you with that roll. So Garavid, you really you had a bit of a run in with Feven, but you didn't necessarily pay too much attention other than to the beautiful apartment. Emmanuel, you sort of remembered a little bit of this sort of what she was wearing, and you can tell that this body in the water at the base of the water has something similar, like a similar sash, sort of. Like a park ranger's badge or whatever sort of thing, the similar sort of thing that she also had. You could probably ascertain from that this is someone associated with her.
is this the thing that's shining though?
At the moment, you can just see the body, and there's a shimmer from underneath it where the water's hitting, and from underneath it, you can't necessarily see anything other than this body in the water.
I'll say I think one of Feven's compatriots in the water. He's got
really?
He's got his Hey Dougie badge on.
Do you think we should pull him out? What do you reckon we should do?
Green Potter's badge.
Well, I for one, my sweet prince, are not getting in that water. Do we have anything long we can hook him out with?
Apart from my very large penis, I've got a tail.
Well,
Yeah.
let's try with your penis first.
You call.
I shall give it a go. Unzips and his middle wicket falls out onto the floor. Fa-dum.
Do remember there's
You
some
take-
type of monster in the water.
You take
Somewhat
0
barbed.
points of damage because it's not that long.
It's a grower, not a shower. Give me 5 minutes. Starts extending across the pool.
He's got a 15-foot reach, but it takes 3 rounds to get it off.
Unfortunately, it collapses because all the blood's gone to it.
Fireballs. Okay. Anyway, what are you doing? Do you have anything? What were you trying to do?
So for myself as a kind of magician-y type person, do I kind of have any clue about this relationship between water and regeneration? Have I got any way which I would kind of, within my experience or knowledge of magic-y things, have any idea of what's going on?
So from your background, but also from the reading that you did before heading off to Newbark, you're aware that there are stories, whether they're tales. You believe them to be more than just tales. That's why you've travelled. There are stories written throughout history of certain waters that can provide rejuvenation, some health. I mean, you've seen health potions work, so you know that there is a liquid way of doing that. There's different stories of large wells of water underneath the earth that travel, and there's some springs with some of the most powerful healing water that you've heard of. Where you're standing right now and what you see obviously water that is seemingly helping with some version of regeneration. Whether this is the type of thing you were looking for in your book or not, you could roll a history check or a religion check if you wanted to.
Let's do that. So religion check or a history check. Yeah. I think I'll go with history.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boom.
So you, from the books that you had read, and you wanted to expand your reading, but from the books that you've read, you heard about three different levels of where these springs would be, and the fact that these levels of potency of this water, as you get deeper down in different levels, start to become more powerful as the heat of the earth, the heat of the core starts to come through. It's at its highest, but also it's most magical in the middle. You also then would have read about the fact that under certain motility, this water can change its property a little bit. So when it's moving fast, it might be different to when it's running in a flat area, or whether it's like lapping up against anything else. So what you will have also got from those stories, you will know that this would be one of those sort of upper level streams that may have some value, but it may also need to be closer to the source for it to have any long-term value overall. The stuff deeper in, you believe, would have value even if taken out for periods of time away from the source.
All right. So while he's reciting that all to me, can I be
thinks to himself.
Can I be fashioning a sort of grappling hook from my rope and a piton, which I hammer into the end of my axe, a hand axe that I've got, to make some sort of grabby thing?
Yeah, you can. So you sort of take your hand axe and tie some rope around it.
Yeah, I've got this piton. I was just reading. I didn't know what piton was. It's a spike with a hole.
Piton or python or whatever it is. Yeah. This that you sort of would stab into the wall to help you climb up.
Yeah, I stab that in the end of the handle of the axe, so it holds better.
Okay, and you wrap it up.
Yeah, do a little Shawshank on it.
All right, and
chuck it at the body.
Okay.
To try and hook it.
Good. Roll an athletics check.
I've got a +6 for this. This should be a good one. Yes.
So you, like, expertly standing where you are and also holding your ground, making sure you're not getting any closer. You throw your axe into the water to where the body is, and you hear this. Oh!
Shit.
Keith cheers him on with encouragement for his throw.
Yeah.
Go on, my son.
Yeah. What's can you just roll a hand axe? I think it's a 1d4.
See, I won't. I should have said it when I did it. I would have thrown it beyond the body, so you can pull it back, not actually at the body.
All right.
Anyway,
no, okay. I'll say that. So
anyway.
No, that's okay. So I'll say yep. Okay. So you throw it beyond. It lands on the leg of the body as you've thrown it beyond the waterfall. Sort of taps it down a little bit more. But yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. But you do hear this. Whether or not that's from a live thing or whether it's just something else, not sure.
All right, can I pull it?
But is this body under the water?
Yes.
Right, so it didn't necessarily come from the body.
Yeah, there's no bubbles coming out of it. Like
there's no bubbles coming out of it. No.
So we'd all assume they're dead, with them being submerged.
You haven't seen any movement, and there's a body underneath the water, but you definitely heard a.
Did it come from the direction of the body or a different direction?
Yeah, it came from the direction of where the body is.
Okay.
Oh, I'll pull it in anyway.
Go for it.
I'd comment on hearing that weird sound.
So
I'm like, that was a very odd noise.
Back to give space for it.
Yeah, I'm going to take a step back from the edge of the water.
Anybody else hear that? Do you think that was a of pleasure or pain?
I thought that was just you throwing it, having to go. Oh.
The line between pleasure and pain can be very, very fine indeed.
True.
So it can be difficult to know. But these are potentially healing waters in general. So perhaps
Actually, Keith, as a bagpipe player, roll a like a, I don't know, a performance like, I don't know, a perception check, a performance or perception, whichever one you feel like.
is it like giving your pipes a squeeze?
I do performance. 10.
It's a little bit different, but you probably, at least from a sound point of view, gather. So this sounds a little bit like when you accidentally tap the bag of the pipes at that
Trapped air in it.
sort of. That's a little bit the sound direction. You're not 100% certain where it would have come from. What tone it was. It might have been a B flat.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Was it smelly?
Garavid, as you're pulling the body, it's not moving much. You're pulling it quite hard, but it's not moving much at this moment in time. You feel like you've got a good solid grip on it, but it's not coming out of the water.
It's not moving, guys. It's like the giant
What if
bloody turnip.
What
It
if
might be some way rooted to the floor.
Yeah, like with the way the water came up as tendrils, maybe the same thing is happening to that body as well.
Because weren't you grabbed by something in the water?
Something did grab me, yes, and it was very painful.
So perhaps this is what's got hold of things in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's like another part of this hive.
Or it's a body that has just got attached to and is eating.
That too. But whatever it is, I don't think we want to A, go in the water, or B, try too hard to drag this body out. Would be my. What would be really good is if we could try and get some water out of this pool somehow and have somebody drink it who's injured. Because I think this may have healing properties.
Did I manage to actually get any water out?
You did.
When I did.
Yeah,
I just
took some
happened to
out
have
and you
some
managed
here.
to get it out. Yeah, here's some I got earlier.
I think it may have healing properties. Keith,
I sniff it.
Would you like to drink?
As well, do you reckon?
Would you
I'm
like to
very
drink
badly
it?
injured.
Would you like to give it a go, or would you like me to drink it and see what happens?
Or I'll
just
drink
take a
it.
sip.
I've got loads because I've got
I'll
loads
take
of
a sip.
temporary.
You take a sip. Okay.
I trust people way too easily.
Roll. Yeah. So make a Constitution saving throw for me.
There you go. Good news. Good news.
Okay. Okay. So you get 8 points of healing.
Woo!
But you feel quite lethargic. You feel a little bit like similar to that feeling that others have got with the those healing potion sort of thing. You sort of get a little bit of that downer sort of feel.
I kind of slump to the floor and be like, I feel better, guys, but I just don't see the point of us trying to drag a body out of there anymore. I don't see the point of it.
You sit down, dear fellow, and have a rest. It seems this has a similar effect on everybody. So I guess the water that was in those other containers is the water from this pool. So therefore, is there more left in that container, Keith?
And how many? It says the water skin it weighs 5 pounds. So container. I don't know how much it would hold.
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking things like that.
5 pounds of water, right? Okay.
I was thinking like if it gave an idea of the volume of it, but it doesn't tell you a volume.
You need to work out what the density of this liquid is, and need to start doing some maths. We'll say you'd probably.
2.2 litres.
What was that?
5 pounds in weight is 2.2 litres.
Okay, so I'll say that's
It's quite big.
That's like four good potions
Four
worth.
good goes on it,
Four good
and I've had
goes
one.
worth. As you will have got, Emmanuel, you're probably aware that whether it's still good, depending on based on that natural 20, it might be good for where you're standing right now, but you might not be certain it's going to continue to be good, and you might not be sure of the negative side effects of medical water.
I'll say that. Okay. Do I think that if we move further away from here, that water will cause us damage, or do I just think it will go off if we move away from the source?
Might be interesting to find that out, maybe with some tests or something as you're going, is what you think in your head. But you're probably thinking that the negative effect might get greater than the positive effect at some point in time.
Okay.
Possibly.
I will go. Oh, there we go. It seems to have some positive effect, but also seems to have knocked Keith out a bit. Maybe we shouldn't glug on the insipid water of life too much. It is a shame.
Okay, as you guys are sort of doing that and pulling this dead body off, what Toe and Constantine, what are you up to over there?
How sick does he think we are?
With an axe on a rope,
Yeah.
just coiled it around.
I've got my python. Oh, Pitten, whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Okay, Toe, Constantine, what are you up to?
If I kind of assume from what Toe is signaling to that there's something he's picked up a scent up north.
Yep.
And I basically point to him and go, "Is there something up there?"
And I want to just try and like
I don't know why I said it like
sniff
that.
the air again and like whack him in the like.
Okay.
Do what cats do up against his leg and again.
What's that
And
last
you hear this sort of, as you're doing this, you both sort of hear this like boom, boom, boom 3 times. And again, it feels like it sounds like it's getting closer as you're hearing this sound going. Make again for me both make actually you're in bear form. Constantine, make a perception check for me.
If that was me and Rich, we'd be running towards it, wouldn't we? Trying to find the rave.
Let me say this: you can do it. You can do it at advantage as Toe is sort of sniffing in a certain direction.
Yeah, I have advantage on wisdom perception checks.
What do I have to hold for advantage? I forgot.
Shift.
Shift.
Shift. So perception.
Yeah, I have
there you
advantage
go.
on checks that you smell.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll give Constantine the advantage based on this. So yeah. Okay. What you notice, and it's been the same, so it's this boom, boom, boom as it's moving, but it definitely sounds like it's from something as opposed to from somewhere. That it's like a boom, boom, sort of.
Does it sound mechanical? Is it like a?
It doesn't sound mechanical. It's not like perfect. It's not like boom, boom, boom. It's like boom, boom, boom. Sort of thing. So it's
Breakbeat rather than 4 to the
Yeah,
floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
It's like
Have it been getting closer over the past?
it has been getting closer, but you can't tell much more than just this boom, boom, boom.
So I might say to Toe, or suggest to Toe, that should we go and get the others? Because I don't want us to get lost in the cave, and just say, should we go and get?
I'm gonna nod. I'll nod. I think I can understand words. So.
Yeah, I'll go and get the others.
Yeah. And his toes are sitting there trying to work out why you think he's a deaf person as opposed to a bear. But okay, so Constantine runs off to grab the others. Cirrus is sort of sitting down on the side, just feeling still a little bit wounded and a little bit coughing, sort of fit from earlier on. Okay, the rest of you, what are you doing as Constantine runs up? As you're trying to, are you trying to extract this body? What are you doing?
Well, it's stuck fast, isn't it? Can't get it out.
You've got that
could
sort of thing that when you're pulling it, it's not as if it's 100% snagged. But it's not just sliding towards you or anything. It's like this bit where you pull on something and it sort of just wobbles up a little bit from the opposite side. It's snagged on something or being held by something. There is movement to some degree, but not towards you at this moment in time.
Do you want to still try and keep yanking?
Yeah, I'm inclined to try and.
And the
pull it
two
in.
creatures at the top
Got me a marlin.
are still like they're not paying any attention to sort of Constantine running up. They're just both looking directly in your direction, Garavid, as you're holding onto this thing, pulling. If you want to, I would allow you to make. All three of you can make a bit of a perception check, if you wanted to.
No.
All right. Yeah, Garavid, what you notice is that each time you start pulling, the heads, the sort of heads sort of lean a little, and the eyes sort of somewhat look at you, concentrating as you're yanking, and they're like
as if
really
it was
looking.
Alive?
So you've noticed the entire time that when these things are being hit, they're not reacting by attacking back or whatever, but they're definitely being hurt, and they've definitely been looking at things that are trying to hurt them or trying to move or things that are getting near the water. What you notice is as you pull on this body with the rope, you notice them sort of really leaning in a little bit in towards your direction.
If they don't like the yanking, mate, I'd keep doing the yanking.
Let's put it on the way. You know the face that people make during a tug of war fight?
Right,
This is the face that they're giving at this moment in time. Garavid, you probably don't know the tug of war is because you've never had to do it in your life.
No, I've cheered people on, of course.
You cheered people on.
While I'm drinking a mild tea.
Exactly.
Pull harder, Dave. Pull harder.
Yeah. Come down here, Dave. We need you.
Okay.
All of us. I keep pulling.
Okay, I'll help him. I'll help him.
Oh,
pull.
okay. So let's do it this way. Roll a. We'll do a little bit of a contested athletics check for me. So roll an athletics.
Oh.
What happened?
All right. No. So this would be Garavid. If everyone else is helping, you would just give Garavid advantage, so you can roll a second roll, Garavid.
Thank God.
At the top. Thanks.
Okay, you start yanking away at this body, and it's still not moving at this point in time. It's still there. What do you do?
Keep going. So all three of us. We get Keith on there as well.
I'll come and help.
If Constantine's coming, I'll go get the blasted bear to give us a hand.
Yeah.
Get Yogi.
I'm like, go on, guys, pull that dead body off till completion. Come on.
Made our way down yet, did we?
What was that?
Did we make our way down there yet?
Were you both moving down, or was it only Constantine?
I was heading down. I thought, token follow.
If you're both following, then you'll see basically they've hooked something into the water. They're all trying to pull at it at the moment. What I would say is you can make one more athletics check with advantage at this moment in time.
Yay.
That's a bit better, isn't it?
All right. You see the body move about 5 feet towards where you are, and the water starts to ripple behind here. What you will notice behind in the water is a sort of a glowing, a little glowing, I would say cube blue, like a lighter blue sort of cube-like thing in the water.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like a cube.
It does look like a cube sitting in the water, about, I don't know, one foot wide, a 1 foot cube in the water. Okay, you pulled it, but it didn't seem to go very far. But you did get somewhere with it. Okay, go for it again if you're wanting to continue.
Can I see it any better now? This body? Is it?
It seems like a dead body of one of the other sort of druids that were around this area. You didn't get much more than a slight description in the book that you had received explaining the two gentlemen. You wouldn't be able to know which one's
the two
which.
scouts that went off.
And at the moment, the head's down in the water at the moment.
Alright.
Is it a giant body, or you just made it that big?
I just made it that big. It's like 6'6", slightly
Okay.
bigger than a 5 foot thing.
Floated from being in the water for a few days.
Yeah, it's
big
not.
druid.
It's not. Yeah. All right.
Right, so that cube looks interesting.
Go on, pull that body in.
All
You nearly
right.
got her.
Yeah, so
Go on.
I keep pulling the body in just for completion.
Okay. Roll your athletics check again with advantage if everyone's still helping you to pull.
Heave!
Hey, we got this.
Like you're all singing the Wellerman at this moment in time as the as you go. It's 18. You are pulling on it, and then it starts to be dragged back towards where it was.
So is this cube moving at all, or the cube's just
Cubes
there?
sort of in the water. Really, as the body moved away the first time, you notice that the cube's in the water, and it's just sort of, in a way, a little bit floating. It's down in the water, but it's floating sort of a little bit back and forward, being buffeted by the waterfall and sort of floating in and out, but behind the water of the waterfall, so it keeps getting knocked back, somewhat submerged underneath.
And it's kind of glows. It's like glowing blue.
It's got a cool little glow to it at this moment in time.
You think shooting it might help?
Try and make a lasso out of your rope and catch that thing and pull that in.
Good try.
I know you can do it.
Good try.
Those big burly arms of yours. Go on.
Blah, 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 blah.
Try. What else have I got? I got them. Is anybody? So I could try and. Well, I could try. How about that? So if I unhook this thing with the same axe, I could get behind it and kind of see if I can dislodge it or something at least.
So at the moment, you've got the body on a rope. You're pulling it in a bit of a
can
tug
I
of
kind
war.
of flick it so the axe comes off the body. Flick the rope.
Yeah, you can flick the rope, and the body then sort of gets dragged a little bit further away from you as whatever it was tugging away with you sort of pulls it there, and the cube that's in the water actually moves a little bit further away with it.
Sorry, accidental press. Apologies.
That's all right, no problem. So this cube that I had drawn on, which is now... Yeah, so the cube actually moved with the body a bit further away from you now and a bit hidden by the wall.
Ooh.
I'd
Hey,
say...
could you say that the bear and Constantine have realised what's going on there?
Yeah, you've come up. As you came up past Cirrus, as you ran past, which is the first time you've sort of gone there, what you probably will have noticed is that or Cirrus would point out to you. He's like, I don't know.
Hey, Cliff.
Hi there, blue. Anyway, and so he would have told you that the blue on these two creatures that had been in the water is starting to actually lap up up to the shoulders as it's coming up, whereas before it was sort of waist. It's sort of now up.
Of these creatures that are in the first pool.
The creatures in the first pool, the one that had sort of fallen and down, and as part of the battle, it's still very much down at its knees in the water. These other two, it's up at around their hips. The shoulders.
So we've been relayed this info.
You were told that by Cirrus, who had sitting down as you ran past. Okay.
And then Toe and that have told us.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just Eldritch Blast this top one then?
Yep.
And as he's doing that, can I run into the water and try and grab the body?
In here?
Wow.
Okay. As soon
I will.
When
If he's looking to do that, I'll shout no.
Okay. So as you pop into the water, so the Garavid that hits, roll damage. Okay.
That'll keep him down a bit.
And a natural 1, 14 and 19 to hit the bear.
Yeah, that hits.
That will be. Just go double check. Where is it? 8 points of damage.
Alright, well then I am down. As far as it goes, I am almost down, but not completely down.
So you're out of your bear form?
I'm out of my bear form and I'm pretty fucked up as a gnome.
Okay, so you're in the water as you run in, as from underneath as you run in as the bear, and as soon as the paw hits the ground, what you'll all notice is that the body in the water then sort of just flops a bit lower down in the water. It doesn't seem to be held on by anything and stuck where it is, but then all of a sudden up from underneath the bottom of the water comes a spike up into the underneath side of the bear form of Toe, who then vanishes out of there and takes a lot of damage to himself even as he comes out of his bear form, as this spike goes up and through literally his toe.
In that case, can I jump out of the water straight away?
Yep, make a quick acrobatics or athletics for me.
Should we attack this body?
Okay, yes, you jump out of the water as just a spike comes up from underneath, but doesn't actually manage to hit you as you get out of the water quite quickly.
And I turn to the other guys and like quite earnestly say, it's quite dangerous. Just so you know, be careful.
Oh, thanks for that. I'm inclined to attack this cube, you know. It could be the source of all evil.
Or all good, depending on which
Or
side
all
you're
good.
I think I mean, what we could do is, if we want the body out, we could throw one of us in, get spiked, and pull the body as they're getting spiked, and then they can jump out again. But who would like to sacrifice themselves for that?
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a bit of temporary hit points at the moment.
I mean, I also think it's probably a waste of time trying to get this body out of the water, because whatever's got it has got hold of it quite tightly.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
gonna,
you have to fight for it.
I think it's a good, strong, spiky thing.
Let's get the
in that
cube.
water. How do we get
Go
the
on.
cube, though?
Go on, Big Red. You go in and you just man it. You just grab it. Show it who's boss, thick boy. Go on.
I mean, I can take a couple of 8-point damages. 3.
Why don't we tie a rope onto you in case we can pull you back?
I like that. In case we can pull you back. It may
Yeah.
not happen.
Maybe.
Well, you know, Keith's is not feeling it greatly, and he's like, you know, you could do that. It's probably pointless you doing that. But
two
you could
tiny
do that.
people, a wizard, are going to try and
We've got
pull a
Constantine
dragon.
as well.
Constantine, are
as
you,
well.
Constantine, are you a muscly man? Are you a muscle man?
Couldn't he blink him out
You're,
or something?
you're muted, Constantine.
Yeah. Oh, you
He's
could
a
blink.
quiet man.
Ah.
Yeah. Hello. What?
Hello. Could you blink in, grab the cube, and blink out again?
That
Theoretically,
silence sounds
try.
like a yes.
Theoretically.
That's silence that I'm prepared to try.
All right, wrap a rope round you. Actually, if he blinks into an ethereal plane,
The
you still
viper will
have a
just
rope
drop.
round him.
No. Will it?
Yeah.
Let's do it then.
Well, you guys probably aren't sure what will happen if he blinks
No.
while has a rope.
All right,
but,
throw a rope in. Throw a rope in with the axe near the body,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And
so
then
it's
at least
there
you can
when he
grab
blinks. He can grab it if he can't blink out again.
Yeah.
And we can yank him out. Yank
I've
his
got
dead
an
body
idea
out.
what's going to happen, but this is fun. People trying to run in and grab it.
Yeah. So what am I being?
Grab the
Dragged
blue
into?
thing.
What am I being press ganged into doing?
Grab
So I'm
the
going to
blue
grab
floaty thing.
grabbing grabbing
Get
the
the-
cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the jellyfish cube in the water. Go grab
Yeah.
that.
And no
Right.
matter how much it hurts, keep hold of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've given up yanking at that dead guy.
So we're ignoring the
You
dead
just
guy.
wait.
We're
Come.
up in the tempo.
You would have noticed as Toe went into the water that these creatures that had been focusing on Garavid as he unhooked the rope and then Toe get in the water, that their heads turned to where Toe was coming into the water at that point in time. Before now, they're sort of heads are in the general area of where the group is. They're not looking at anyone in particular. They're just
Fascinated,
across, but
as
they're not
idiots are doing.
focusing on something. Whereas when Toe went in the water, you would have noticed their heads
Right,
both
okay.
went down to where he was, or when Garavid was using the rope, both were.
So that there its eyes. I'm gonna try a speculative firebolt to see what their reaction is when they get firebolted.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
Love the
You
speculative.
do know that
fireball.
Toe has hit them before, and they did seem to take damage, but just looked at him. They didn't seem to do anything else until
That-
he got
That
poked. 13 will hit. Roll damage.
Oh, standard.
Yep, very nice. Yeah, you fire across the water that was lapping up, sort of fades away a bit, and they turn their head to look at Emmanuel as he fired the firebolt.
All right, I'm gonna fire another firebolt at them, Constantine. If you
Yeah.
want to blink in, I'll keep
All right.
firing firebolts at them.
I'll fire an eldritch at the other one.
Okay.
Right.
So
So
Are you
I'm going to
doing
give
the-
you a countdown. I'll
You're
give
doing
you
the
a
top
countdown.
one. I'll do the
Oh.
lower one.
Yeah,
And I'll give you a countdown.
I'll go top. You can
3,
have bottoms.
Okay.
2.
So
Hang
we're,
on.
we're going to
What-
do this as if it all happens at the same time. This is really
Yeah,
cool.
Keith's
So,
gonna count them down.
so I've got to roll a d20, yeah.
so you would have to roll a d20 to be able to do your blink if you wanted
Yeah.
to do the blink.
Yeah.
Emmanuel is going to fire, I
Yeah.
guess, at the left-hand one, and Garavid at the right-hand one at this point
Yeah.
in time.
Yep.
As you blink and move, that will be a move. It is the movement will be in the ethereal plane, so technically will not slow down. But if you had to run in this water, you know, near the waterfall, that it is a more deeper, difficult terrain. It will slow you down a little bit if you had to.
Maybe you
run
want to
back
move
out
down
again.
a bit then, Const.
Yeah, get to the edge.
Get down to here.
Down to there.
Where is the cube? Is it near the body?
Cube is this
Oh, there it
blue
is. Oh, there it
thing
is.
in
I see
the
it. Yes,
bottom.
sorry. Yes.
And it's sort of in underneath the waterfall at this moment in time. Yep.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna cue my
Okay.
d20 up.
You ready?
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 On your mark.
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, Constantine rolled a 2.
Splashes into the water.
Oh,
So Constantine is just standing there with his knife out, looking at Toe, going, "Nope, think I got it wrong." He's sort of standing there. You can also go to run. The firebolt hits, and so does the Eldritch Blast. Roll your damage at that point in time. 5 points each as they throw those out. Okay. Do you still want to? Do you still want to?
I'll look quizzically.
Do you
at
still want to
Constantine.
run for it, Constantine, or are you just
Can I run
standing
over
there?
and maybe help him pronounce his word again because I know he's.
Okay, you can run over there. I will give you an advantage on the next one if you want to try it with Toe reciting just beforehand to explain what to do. Okay.
Right.
All
Okay.
right.
Are
Cue
we
your
ready?
fireballs up
Try it
again.
again.
Yep.
All right. So Constantine blinks out.
Hey.
Fire off the Eldritch Blast and the Firebolt. The 12 will miss, but the 20 will hit. All right, Constantine, you can move as you have blinked out.
And I said into the water.
5, 10,
Up to the cube.
15, 20. It would be 20 feet to the water, but you would have to wait until. So you've run in there. You're in the ethereal plane. You've got up to where this thing. You'd have to get up underneath the waterfall, which is a spectacular sight in this plane because it's not actually there, but you sort of feel that it might be. You're seeing this weird shape. Okay, you're there. So, the 9 points, Garavid, that was to the right-hand one. Okay, they both focus in on Emmanuel and Garavid at this point in time. Emmanuel, you pop out. Garavid and Constantine will pop out at the start of his turn.
Right, do another one.
We're going to keep the Barabit.
Garavid and Emmanuel, I want you to make, with advantage, because I guess Keith and Toe are helping out here. I want you to make perception checks to see if you can get that split second where Constantine would come out of his blink. Okay, so you will notice as soon as he comes out of the blink, and I would allow you to fire off again at that point in time with those rolls. 15 was the limit that I had with you doing that. Okay.
Garavid straight in there.
So, Constantine, I want you to make a sleight of hand check.
Always
Good,
good
it's-
advantage on that.
I've got a good advantage on that, so.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you
Pocket
reach
the
in.
cube.
Garavid finds off an Eldritch Blast. The Eldritch Blast misses. Emmanuel, you fire off, I guess, a firebolt.
Yeah, that's coming
Firebolt
in.
hits. Actually, so you put your hand in to where this square cubish thing in the water is that's got a bit of a glow. There's a bloated dead body right next to you that's sort of just floating again on the water. You reach in and grab into this sort of gelatinous-y cube thing in the water that's about a foot wide. You grab in and hold on to it, and it sort of slowly moves up your arm in sort of the direction of your arm. As you pick it up, it moves a little bit up your arm. A spike comes out of the ground into the bloated body, and a puff of noxious, like bloaty person bowel gas comes out of it as you're there. Okay, you're standing there. Roll this time without advantage your D20 for the blink.
Squeaky bum time.
Come on, blinky blink, blink. Oh, no, did it? Oh, sorry. Come on,
Tension,
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, yay!
You blink back out and can then move across to the other side with a gelatinous 1 foot wide cube
attached to me.
currently attached to you, like on your arm at this moment in time. It probably
What have you
probably
got there,
weighs about 6 pounds. on your arm.
It's not causing me any pain. It's not, is it? Or
It's not causing any pain. You can make an insight check if you want to, or even a nature check if you want to.
for nature. That's it.
With a 20. As you get across, everyone else is there. The other creatures had now shifted across, but they're still only looking at Emmanuel and Garavid, who are firing off at them. Constantine, you're standing there with your hand. You poke this thing on your hand with your other hand, and a bit of the water sort of squeezes out of it, a little bit like a sponge, as you click on it, and you sort of get a feeling that this thing might be alive, whatever it is. It's not just a blob. It's not just it's sort of moving slightly,
it's organic,
but it's not doing anything dangerous to you. It's just sort of hanging around, and what it's doing. You've been in this cave for a little bit. You've been knocked down a bunch of times. You've got still some of that dust on you from when you got whacked in the face, and this thing is slowly, like, almost like one of these cleaning robot things in a house.
Roomba.
It's like a Roomba. It's slowly moving down your arm and cleaning up any of the dirt and the dust and the spores that are on your arm as it slowly just moves down a little bit at a time.
I've
Like one of those
got a
pool
big
robots.
I've got a big iron pot, and I kind of hold it out and be like, "Do you want to put it in here?" If you don't want it crawling up your arm anymore.
When you hold out the pot, you actually sense that this thing sort of slowly moves away from the pot back up your hand, as it gets.
That doesn't want to go in the pot.
I might just kind of pet it.
And so little bits of water plop out of it, but it snuggles into your fingers, and then proceeds to sort of slowly remove some of the dirt from the hand that actually was patting it on the other side.
And I'm
Do you want to
I
put some dirt in the pot?
Yeah, I was like, I think it likes to eat the spores. Maybe has anyone got any spores on them, or
I've
just
got a
cough
shitload of
into
spores
here.
on me.
There's a whole great big lump over here.
We can play around a little bit with how you find out all of this information, but I will just display in the chat what you've picked up. You have managed to pick up a cleaning cube, which is a tiny sentient piece of
Gelatinous
enchanted
soapy
gelatinous
cube.
soapy cube
Aww.
that enjoys cleaning surfaces and it travels across. I made it already in the water, so it was already sort of sitting there. It's got a bit of an intelligence. It has its own armor. It has a few hit points and resistance to all damage.
I tell you what we should do, boys. We should probably fucking kill it.
Pissed me right off already, that. Going fucking cleaning me. I like being dirty.
Remember, leave no witnesses. No, it's
this thing does not deserve to live. Nothing else has.
No. I think we'll kind of we can. I think between us we've worked out what it's doing and it's harmless, and I let it just kind of finish me off.
Put it in the pot.
Put it in the pot with
This
some
could be genius. We
spores.
never have to clean again.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
See if we can get some spores into Keith's pot and.
There you go. So you put it into Keith's pot with some of the previous cooking residue, but also you're probably going to do something you shouldn't do to a really good pot, where you want to keep the flavour in the pot. You've have it cleaned out, but it's enjoying itself, just slowly moving around the pot, cleaning up some aspects. So basically, this thing remains like this until you sort of squeeze it out effectively. then it goes down to 0 hit points. But then as soon as you put it back in water, it will pop back up again and enjoy being there. Okay, that's what you found.
Oh,
That was worth it.
yeah.
I think that's one of the best things I've ever found on an
Yeah.
adventure. That's amazing. I like the fact it's something so mundane and yet something so magical.
Something that's brought such joy already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Right,
this body,
gentlemen, I think
this
mission
body in the
accomplished.
water, this body in the water is floating there, sort of definitely dead. Now has a spike through it. It's, yeah, these two things are still looking across at you. The creatures in the water, the one that you fired off on had sort of had the water then flow back down again, but it's slowly flowing up again. These two actually look quite damaged from that damage you fired off on it just before, as you were, at least the one that Emmanuel was firing off on and hitting.
Shall we
what would you
finish
like to
them,
do?
Sweet Prince, and see whether that stops the monstrous spikes from coming up?
Are we going back in the water? But what it'll certainly do is slow them down so they won't come up from behind when we go and find this rave that's at the top.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also wondering whether there's anything. Does it look like there's anything behind the waterfall at all? Can I see anything like that? Can I see the rock face
Has
behind
it
it, or
still
does
got the shimmery glow?
The glow, there's less of a glow at the bottom of the water now. It now looks a little bit more like just the water that's in this top pool. So the top pool is a little bit lighter than the bottom pool, and you probably from that natural 20 before sort of realize that this has to do with the flow part that you were
yeah?
realizing before. This top pool, sort of, there's only some trickles into the bottom pool where it is. So,
But the source of the water for this top pool is coming from a waterfall, isn't it?
the source for this entire river, but this entire top pool and bottom pool is coming from the waterfall coming down.
Yeah.
It's sort of when I say a waterfall, it's water that is falling. But it's not necessarily like a waterfall that you would imagine. It's coming out of sort of a small gap up, probably from what you can see from where you are. I mean, you can investigate it if you want, but it's probably maybe 20 feet high, and this water is sort of just like arcing down and hitting underneath. It's a good flow, but it's not like a heavy rush of water into this.
Right. Okay. So there's not really going to be like a hidden cave behind it, probably, because the amount of water.
Probably not. Yeah, it's a small gap up top. You can sort of see it a little bit. It doesn't seem to be an opening there.
Okay. I think mission accomplished, gentlemen. Let's take our little cleaning friend and get out of here.
Yeah, can I also mention quickly that this booming noise has gotten quite loud and there's a funky smell coming from where we were before. So,
What could you smell, Toe?
I could smell something that was pungent, obvious, and I'm sure once you guys get closer, we'll also smell it together. So should we go on like a smelling adventure?
Yes.
Could I also keep an eye out on these guys? How almost where's the blue stuff on these bodies in the first one?
So in the bottom pool, this one here, which hasn't taken anything in the meantime, it's now sort of up, sort of to the cheek. The one over in the corner over here is sort of still up to its knees. What you can probably deduce by now is that this sort of regeneration is taking a little bit of time, but you probably notice that, well, you'd probably deduce, I would suggest, from the amount of time you've spent in this cave, that once that sort of reaches up high enough, you'd probably imagine that they would then respawn themselves. These two at the top seem to be tethered a little bit. These were the two from the couple of days earlier that have been put into the top pool. So you know that they have been outside of this pool at some point in time. You probably would expect that they would also at a certain point in time, but they seem to be quite damaged from what you've done so far.
Slow them down.
Yeah.
I say we choose it. reality.
As you move down, Cirrus will sort of say, as he's sort of flicking through the book that Fevin had, he will, on a sort of a medicine check as he's looking through. So he'll comment on two elements. One of them is that these spores that had been mentioned in the number of days. It seems to be related to the amount you inhale at a certain point in time. They feel like they've had a couple of close calls where they had this, but managed to sort of get some healing or some salves from back in Bear's Run that helped them. But this sort of big spore that they had got, they weren't sure. So you had seen this 40-day cycle off, but you knew that Fevin didn't get to 40 days. She may have been subjected to a bigger puff,
Heroic dose.
sort of a larger dose, and you could probably imagine that this is what you also may have just had coming from these creatures. So there's not a massive amount of time, like 40 days, you could deduce from this, and someone in Bear's Run had helped out at least the first time is as much information as you have. The second thing that he says is that they were sent here to clean out these caves, that things just kept coming out of these caves over a period of time, and they never seemed to fully be able to deal with this continuous scourge in Bear's Run and the forests around them. So you would have got at least from that, and Cirrus again quite down now from the end of his downers, is probably mentioning that we probably have to find a way to get these things out of here and stop them from regenerating. If what is read is correct.
So we've got to figure out what is in, like, underneath the bed of the pool. What organisms there that's spiking them and helping that regeneration process.
I mean,
So
could we cut off the supply of water somehow?
That's
Did
a good
Emmanuel? Did you
idea.
mention that it was this had some kind of like, it's almost like a hive-like system? These water pools. So is there more than we're seeing?
It depends on the depth. So I mean, yeah, it's a good question actually. Whether there would be more than one here. They seem to be using this one for their current dead though. I mean, yeah. My sweet prince, is your eldritch blast enough to blow rocks down, or?
Let's find out.
But I mean, we
it's
we
force
run the,
damage, so yeah, it should be able to do it. I'd say.
I mean, I'm
Combination of
wondering whether
firebolt and
potentially,
eldritch blast.
we could see if we could try and blow some rocks over this water source to dam it up.
And if the water stops, then it would drain,
Yes.
maybe, and then whatever's in there could be blasted
And
to shit.
Oh, my son.
And we would stop these creatures from regenerating.
Mm. I mean, yeah, because you can't really take them out of the water to kill them, because
No.
otherwise then we get attacked. Yeah, so we need to.
And
So
it's doing nothing.
You know you could go into the bottom pool and yeah, just from last week. I mean, people tried hitting them, but no one tried moving them.
Nobody got attacked in the bottom pool.
No one's got attacked in the bottom pool. You were all walking around the bottom pool. You only got hit by this big purple thing. And you know that you tried to hit them and nothing happened to them, but you didn't try to move them.
All right, I'll go over here and try and drag this fella lad out.
Okay. Make an athletics check for me.
Wow, so high.
Yep, but even with that, you manage to pull at this thing, and it starts to drag towards you as you're starting to move it. It's not moving at all, other than sort of something, sort of where it's in the water is sort of taking some effort to move out. It's like it's got some roots into the water that are slowly taking some effort to drag it out. A little bit like when you get rocks at the base of water that some plastic's under. It sort of takes a bit to tug it out before it actually can be removed. But you're slowly and using some exertion to do so, but you're slowly moving this thing out of the water.
I come over and shout at everyone like, "Come on, let's all help him."
Yeah, I'll give a hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
also asked the group, what are our feelings on calling the cube Mundus? Everyone happy with that?
Calling it what?
Yes.
Mundus.
Mundus. What? Why? Just.
It means clean.
Oh, there you go. Then sound.
That's a very fitting name for.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mundus in the pot. You can sense that it stops slowly at this point in time and moves up the pot towards you, and then sort of gives a little bit of almost like a squeeze nod, and then moves away. You can sense that it's okay with being called Mundus.
I put the pot gently down by Cirrus because if I'm going to help pull him around.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah.
I want him to be all
Cirrus,
right.
Cirrus sits next to the pot and starts to talk to Mundus about the stratus and cumulus cloud that he's looking forward to seeing when he gets out of this cave eventually.
Mundus may well kill himself.
Mundus,
Squeeze himself
Mundus
dry,
dehydrates and for himself. I will say that in this bottom pool, you all go in there and help each other slowly deroot these creatures out from underneath. It will take a little bit of time and a bit of effort. You can make a perception check as you're doing so for me.
Yeah.
I see nothing.
The usual.
I'm too busy thinking of Mundus.
So you're
New friend.
You basically remove these creatures from inside the water pool, and as soon as you get them out to the side, they just collapse in a heap onto the ground and are basically now dead on the ground, as they no longer had that. All of that blue life force, whatever it was trying to rejuvenate them, vanishes away. As that goes from there, the two at the top have just sort of been actually everyone's moved down to the bottom pool. They are now not looking at anyone from where they are at this moment in time. Constantine and Toe, you actually had heard that sound earlier on. That smell, Toe, even though you're in bear form, you don't sense it from where you are at this moment in time, this smell.
What about from here? Or if I move up a bit more?
If you move up a bit closer, yeah, you still wouldn't get the smell, but I mean, you do still hear a boom, boom occasionally, not coming towards you necessarily now, they're sort of moving back and forward. Sometimes east, sometimes west.
I'd like to go and I think we should go further up. We'll take Mundus and we'll have a little see what we can find up north and the source of this sound, because I think we're done in this
That's a good idea, because we've not managed to kill ourselves yet.
No.
Could I quickly get everyone together and just have a quick go around? How fucked up is everyone respectively?
I would say somewhere between mildly and very.
Yeah, I could do with some.
I'm at extremely at the moment. I don't have any.
I can pass you my flask
Yeah,
of the spring water. It does the job, but it's hell of a hangover.
I'm not afraid of a hangover.
I'd pass my water skin around
Okay,
if to Toe.
go for it. you take a drink from it, Toe?
What do I have to do?
Just do you drink from the
Furry cup.
cup?
Are we gonna keep kicking on, or are we gonna go out and have a rest somewhere?
I don't know, how are our big strong men feeling? Constantine, Emmanuel. Constantine, Garavid.
Yeah, I've got a lot of temporary hit points at the moment, but I'm half on normal.
But by the way, Garavid, your temporary hit points only ever replace themselves. You don't add them to each other.
What do you mean?
So if you get 8,
I see what you mean.
8 temporary hit points and then get another 7, you still only have 8.
Okay, I'll take it down to 6.
I've only got 9 hit points out of 21, so I could do with something.
Okay, so you've got these 2 creatures up in the top pool that are sort of sitting there and very and somewhat regenerating, but they do look a little bit damaged in the pool at this moment in time. You've dragged out the rest onto the side as dead body. You hear a little bit of a sound from the northeast coming and going a little bit. So what do you wish to do?
I mean, I would suggest if everyone else needs a rest and maybe replenish your spells and stuff, we could have a quick skip outside and then have a full-on assault on this place at full strength afterwards.
Okay, why not? Hey, let's sloth be the better part of valor for now.
It depends. I mean, I won't be much use, but I'm not against having a crack.
Well, I think our strong gentlemen are in need of a rest.
Yeah, we could go back up to our little spot,
or back out to the daylight, back out to the entrance of the caves, and just like I said, get some fresh air, some daylight, and a bit of a nap.
Okay. So you all make your way out to the exit of the cave, or the entrance, whichever way. It's up to you what you feel. As you're walking past, you'll notice that all of these other dead bodies have wilted and have died or gone completely absorbed into their surrounding as you walk away.
Is that smell still there as we go past?
What was that?
Is that smell still pretty pungent at this bridge area?
As you get to the bridge, just feel free to make another perception check. Yeah, no, you don't really sense as strong as it was last time you were here. This smell, there's a little bit still wafting in the air, but not stronger, let's say, than it was before. Okay, so you all make your way out to the entrance of the cave. You've actually been in this cave for most of the morning, because you did make your way here in the morning. You did manage to have a short rest in between. You probably getting now to sort of to the midday sun, sort of the light bouncing off the west face as the sun has started to come around. So you'd probably find a bit of shelter in the cliff face with a little bit of shade, and be able to find a place in that area to give yourself a short or long rest. If you do take it as a long rest where you are, we would sort of do it in shifts to get the sort of long rest going, but you would know that you'd be sort of finishing up such a thing towards late evening, or not late evening, but late afternoon, evening, before you finish that long rest.
We are going into a cave where it's dark anyway. And I can recreate another magic stone to light.
I've got a candle. I've got some candles.
Yeah, I mean the walls are still letting off a lot of this this light anyway where you are. Okay.
Are we going for a long rest then, boys?
Yeah,
So
I think
position yourselves where you believe you would be inside, outside. I will move Manuel, or Manuel, you can move yourself outside.
Yeah, hang on.
Go there.
You under the bushes somewhere, or where?
Let's stay close to so
You
if
stay
we can
close to
hear
the
something
walls?
coming. Yeah, because we had the noise and we know those guys are going to be regenerated at some point, aren't they?
Possibly. We've kind of messed with their but yeah, they might be being regenerated somewhere else. That is true.
Okay.
If we need to rest for 8 hours, shouldn't we be more hidden?
Cool.
Well, what round here?
Like just in the bushes somewhere.
If you want to make a little bit of a, you can make a little bit of a survival check, Toe, if you want to look around and see if there's anywhere.
Yeah, just anywhere in these nearby in the shrubs. If there's something
Make a survival check just to see if you can find something around. Yeah.
Nice.
So you'll notice down here in this little sort of area down here would be quite good. These trees next to it are quite solid, and there's not really any way in or out on the left-hand side there, and you're covered by the cliff face. So there's really only one place to be looking and observing what's going on. Still some vision of the entranceway of the cave and where the trees are here. So that would be quite a nice place, and Cirrus will come and sit down and start to read his book with you all in that area. So just because I need to quickly, we'll just take a quick short 5-minute break while you're also doing your long rests, and we'll get into the long rest part as soon as I get back.
Hello.
Get it not looking chalky.
Yeah, I know it.
I've decided that basically with the first batch of the 10 Sisters, because I started it and I didn't really understand, because I'm like, people are like, it's really hard paint white, and I'm like, but I've got white paint.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, that's why it's really hard.
Yes. You put it on and it's like, I've just rubbed this with a chalk.
Yeah. So I basically these are just being done because I've started them, so I'm going to finish them. But the next 10, I'm going to have to really think about, like, how
you've got to do it as glazes. You've got to water it down loads.
I think because I've seen so many different
layers,
techniques,
man. Layers.
So many different techniques of people doing it in different ways. It's just like, I'm just going to have to start with something and just see what happens.
Yeah, and see what's good for you. See what works for you.
Yeah.
It's my
He's cool.
But yeah, I think
is that a zombie thing or is it a lizard thing?
Turtle.
That was a turtle, man.
A turtle thing. There we go.
I'm going to do...
Okay, yeah. I've got... I can see his hard shell now.
Yeah.
Cool holder you've got him on as well.
You know what?
Looks like a tiny dumbbell.
It does, and that's what I do every day.
That's why he's so buff.
Home office workout. Oh yeah. Actually, it's
incredibly dense, that dumbbell. You're amazed how heavy that is.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I found online this really cool thing. So you get the double-sided what's it called?
Sticky tape.
Sticky tape.
No, not sticky tape.
Like a pad.
What's it called? Velcro.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You get that stick Velcro, so you can stick it on the bottom and then pull it off the base at some point in time. And you can then attach like a piece of wood with some Velcro at the end and use that to do your blacks and whites with the thing stuck, and then stuck it here.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember even where I got this. It's just, I don't know what it was from. It's some random thing, but it's just basically... it's a flat screw at the top and a flat at the bottom, and then it just sort of sits in your hand and can twist.
So it's not like a specific paint holder.
No, I just found some stuff
cool.
in my toolkit and went, oh, actually that'll work. It protects the fingers. It also allows you to do a bit of a small twists if you want to do small lines. Yeah, it's not so bad.
Cool.
All right, just waiting for Toe to get back. As we're sitting there doing that, I'll also just quickly set up now.
Zach, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to do something a bit weird while I'm here. Keith,
Yes.
you can level up to level 3 while you have your longer rest right now.
Awesome.
And so will Cirrus. I think I can do it for him as he is
That's a
in
powerful
my
nap, man.
thing. I mean, you've just spent a couple of days at level 2, basically constantly under a constant thing
Pressure.
with some relatively high level creatures. So I apologize to Rich that he doesn't get to do it himself. Well, actually, I'll just leave him where he is. Depending on what happens. I don't think there's any choices he has to make at level 3 anyway. There's not, so I'll just bump him up.
Second class.
I'll just bump him up to level 3 because he doesn't have to make any specific choices at level 3. As clerics make their choice at level 1, not at level 3, like a lot of the other characters. You don't necessarily all get a full long rest yet. What I want is, as you're sitting there, getting yourselves prepared, you sit down for the first time that feels like for days, because you've been in this sort of darkness with some sort of bioluminescence that has given you some light, but it has been a little bit disorienting while you've been in there. You came outside and the bright sun was hitting the walls. You didn't realize that it was actually still daytime probably as you were in there. You sit down to take a much needed rest and decide amongst yourselves that you will sort of sleep for the next few hours, sitting in the shade and protecting yourself from the hot midday sun, which you remember that it's a little bit sort of spring-like coming into summer, I believe. So it's not too bad, but it's nice and hot part of the day. Who out of the group wishes to go first to make do the first, say, watch as you are?
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do it. Anybody?
So Constantine and Garavid will do that while everyone else takes their long rest.
Just in case we're attacked, would it be a good idea to have one fragile person and one tanky person together for each watch? Because if I'm on watch with a gnome, God help us if something attacks.
What
then
are
I
you
can't
trying to
take.
say?
I'm trying to say you're a lover, not a fighter.
I say I'm personally offended by you. Like, Toe turns into a crazy bear.
But not that's true. Once he's had a rest, he'll be able to turn into a crazy bear again, won't he? So, yeah, that's okay then. You two guys.
Toe, I wouldn't go on a watch with him for that.
I'll go watch on my own. That's fine.
Back. I don't mind.
All right. So, Garavid and Constantine taking the first watch, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, you're sitting there. Do you feel like you want to? The rest are sort of sleeping for this sort of rest while you are both awake and sitting there. Do you want to do anything, or do you want to?
Yeah, I think I'll have a chat. So, well, thank you for the. I must say, yes, thank you for the chain mail that you so graciously gave me. I must admit that your debt to me is fully paid. And
We'll call it quits then, shall we? Yeah.
And what was your name again? Constantine, was it? I think we can go to first name terms now, can't we? Can't call you David all the time.
Well, you can, but
You may call me Red.
do you want another game of cards, Red?
Go on then. I beat you last time.
Well, I let you win last time.
All right.
I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Did you?
Thanks for. I don't remember the rules of the game last time, so we'll go with a new set of rules for the game. I want you to. What you do is you roll two. Roll. Firstly, who wants to go first? Roll a d20 and the highest number will go first. Okay. All right, Constantine gets to go first.
That's the first and last.
Roll.
Yeah.
Roll 2d12. First, what is your bet? Are you betting together on this, or are you just for fun?
How much money have you got on you?
You're going to shark me.
How much money have I got on me? Hang on.
You haven't got any money on you. I don't know how much money have I got on me. There is money. Oh,
But-
there is. Currency.
I'm going to have to screenshot that and send it to you, Greg, as a picture for a profile picture, because that is amazing. Oh, with the pens, oh no,
With a paintbrush,
With a
going over my
paintbrush.
glasses.
I'll go 5 gold.
Times
You
have changed.
can match that.
Somehow. Yeah, go on then. I'll take it. I'm good for it.
All right,
You said that last time.
five
some chain- you
gold.
got some- You got some chain man out of it.
True.
All right, so we're gonna play basically my version of blackjack or 21.
21. Yeah.
But you roll a 2d12. So yeah.
Alright.
Aim is still to get closer to 21, but roll 2d12.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
A one is an 11.
14. Ooh.
Okay, so
Gonna hit.
14. Yeah, do you want to roll one more d12 or?
Whereas
So that's-
14 you can burn.
You're going to play best of 3, by the way, but this is the first one.
I'll twist.
All right, roll 1d12. Ooh, 19.
I'll stick.
Ooh.
All right, he's going to
Stick at 19.
sit on 19. All right, Garavid. 15. Ooh.
Gotta do it. Gotta
Stick or
do it.
lose, stick or lose.
Oh, bust.
He busts.
All right, that's one to Constantine. All right, go roll.
Okay.
Garavid, I guess you can start first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18.
I'll stick.
All right,
Yeah.
gonna sit on that. There you
Alright.
go. Oh, sorry, this game is called Stick, so we'll stick to that. Ooh,
Can you split that?
4. You no, because it's way too hard for me
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
the maths on the numbers. No, just go. You got 4. All right,
he's going 5 of a kind.
7.
Yeah.
It's going for a 5. It's going for a 5.
7. Yeah.
Oh!
He can dig.
You can do it. You
7.
can do it.
10.
Oh!
Oh! You've got to get over 14,
You
haven't you,
still
surely?
have to get over. You still have to get over the fort. I would say definitely still have to get over the amount of the other person within the same
5,
period
6,
of time.
7, 10,
That's
12.
one.
I've got-
I'm saying that's 1 all.
Yeah.
1 all. All right. Coming down to the last one for 5 gold pieces as they're
Okay.
sitting there playing cards.
I'll go first.
Alright.
Stuck.
That's a 6.
Roll again.
Ooh, that's
15.
15.
15.
Oof.
And then,
The little rogue playing cards.
I'm going to twist. Come on, 15. Come on.
50-50 in it.
Oh!
17. I'll stick at 17.
Sticking on 17.
Alright,
All right,
here we go.
Garavid.
7. Oh, yes!
All right, starts off with a 7. 18.
18.
Got him.
I'll stick. And I'll take your 5.
Garavid,
Thank you very much,
add 5.
Consti.
Constantine. Consti now, known as Consti. Takes a loss.
Constipation.
While
Thank
you are playing the game, roll you're sort of paying attention doing it. You can either both roll a d20 for a perception check, or one of you can roll with advantage, whichever you would like.
You got better perception than me.
I got a +3.
All right, you have it then.
Oh, hang on, sorry, I didn't press it, did I? Sorry, hang on. Too many windows open.
Okay. You sit there and you play cards, and money changes hands. But
Well, hopefully money changes hands. Did you have 5?
I haven't checked. I left my other wallet at home, didn't I? So
you do that. I will allow you to play that out later on if you want to.
That's a helmet, I think, next time.
But you are at the end of your watch. Who are the next two taking? As you don't notice anything during your watch. Nothing untoward or weird happens during your watch.
I can take next watch with Cirrus, and we can talk about clouds.
Okay, and Manuel wakes Cirrus. Cirrus is pretty tired, so it's difficult to rouse, I would say. Manuel, you can sort of just sit there on your own, and Cirrus probably falls back asleep as you are talking about clouds with him anyway. Well, actually, no, if you were talking clouds, he'd stay awake.
yes.
But I'll let you sit there and.
So will I have gained the benefits from my long rest yet?
Not yet. But at the end of everyone doing these, so we'll do 4 watches, and by the end of the 4th watch, you do that. Right. So Emmanuel, you're sitting there and keeping an eye out. Roll a perception check as you're sitting there.
Right, here we go. PPP perception.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't notice anything weird during your watch. You're a little bit distracted by like losing Bertram and realizing that you sort of have to maybe bring him back at some point in time. But how a little bit emotional that was, and also the idea that one of these streams, one of these sort of rejuvenating pools exists in a way has just got your brain just flying in multiple different potential things. You don't notice anything during your rest. Nothing dangerous happens.
Okay, very good.
But yeah, so that is Emmanuel. Who will go next? Keith.
I'll go with
Keith and
Duncan.
Keith
and
and Toe.
The gnomes will take take a watch.
Keith and Toe, you're sort of woken up a little bit, or just out of your rest by Emmanuel as he says it's your turn to go, and you sit at the front. What would you like to do?
Talk to him a bit about playing the bagpipes, but not actually play the bagpipes.
Gnomish, so no one can understand.
Yeah, and we're just talking gnomish, definitely.
Yeah. Shit about the other guys talking a bit too loudly, so you know they can hear us, but they can't understand.
And look over occasionally at them.
Yeah, giggles, like cool guys.
Everyone has fallen asleep at this point in time, so they don't notice you cussing them out in another languge, which gives away definitely that you're talking about them if it wasn't already, if it wouldn't have been already obvious. But they're all well asleep to not have to worry about it too much. What are you talking about specifically as you're chatting?
The clumsiness of the big lizard man.
How ugly.
I snort and roll over as if someone's been walking over my grave.
Could I actually ask Keith what's his lineage relate
Yeah,
to?
start having a chat with him. Go for it.
Keith, what's your father, grandfather? Yeah. Or what area do you come from? Even?
The the Nomi area. Quickly
Fourth
Google
Nobland.
gnome law.
Got your mum's name?
The Knackle. We're a long lineage of Knackle bards, you see, who often travelled round. So we're all kind of a bit here and there. With dads don't really, we've passed along the gift of song and performance and the love of drone that the Knackles like to serenade people with, that they pass around as we travel through, we're going a bit broader, trying to get the drone out there a bit more for other races to appreciate.
Appreciate it. I mean, where I'm from, we don't have much music at all. It's mainly focused on drinking the beers, getting them in, and then getting home. There's not much merriment. I appreciate that we should introduce that more in my village. So maybe once we're through all this shit, we could maybe bring your bardiness down and introduce some merriment to my village.
I'd like to. So where is your village? Is it are you a village of druids or?
My village of gnomes, where I'm originally from, is near Fragalax Star, I believe it's called.
Yes.
But I've since moved a bit away from there to the druids. But I go back and forth. I still have my deep roots back home, but at the moment I have not been there for a while.
So what brought you out into to the festival?
Piss up, maybe. Because the druids,
Yeah,
those party loving people. I love the druidic ways, but in terms of like sating my need for beers and getting shit faced, they just don't match up. So I kind of snuck away, and then that turned into this mission, which I just kind of went along with because why not?
yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
We haven't got enough booze.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out for the next thing. So that comes along.
So,
I've learned that gnomes are functional alcoholics.
Basically.
so Toe would sort of tell you how he would remember that where the druids were up near a place called Forest Home, just south of Forest Home was where the druids were. But yes, Fragalax Scar was where he was originally from. Okay, you sit there and have your rest together. Make either one of you with advantage or both of you make a roll for some perception.
That's a sheet. Perception. Oh, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to beat a 23.
So as you're having this chat about the druids area and where you are, and Toe, you just sort of you hear off within the caves. You swear from where you're sitting. It's not very loud, but you swear from where you're sitting that you hear this sort of almost the tink of like a pick on stone or something like that. You're hearing just this sort of tink, and then that boom, like this thud that you'd heard before, this boom, 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 and then later on it. But it's not often, and it's just fleetingly. It's not really loud. It's just something that a little bit different to what you had heard before. What you would also notice, both of you will notice, is as you're having a chat, that a few more birds or wildlife are in the trees than any time that you've noticed the day before and coming in. So it seems as if there's some more of the fauna of this area sort of coming towards the cave a little bit more than what you had noticed previous days as you were wandering through the forests. But your rest goes without any hassles, so that is the thingo. So I'll just roll for Cirrus at the end as you all go there. So Cirrus sits there and is just looking in the clouds and finishes off his long rest, feeling a bit more rejuvenated and revitalized, and wakes you all up and says, as the sun has now really sort of gone down, this beautiful bright orange glow from the dusk sky is now lighting up the side of the caves as you find yourself awakened.
No.
Let's go find that rave. I'm just going to go for a dump.
We can change our spells, right? After a day.
You can change everything except for cantrips, I believe, if you've prepared spells. The wizards can't learn anything more, but can prepare ones that you already have.
Come back. Oh, I feel 10 stone lighter. Needed that.
Can I tell to the other, whoever's able to cast spells, if we're going to darkness and half of us can't see in the dark, we could get some spells that can...
My dear fellow, I have a spell that can bring the power of light to an object.
Love that. Excellent.
Garavid, have you reached a level of boredom or something?
Is that you going to the toilet roll?
Yeah, you hear some noises that have not that you're not sure whether it's man or creature.
I've got a torch as well, so we can have some light.
Growling off in the distance.
Yeah.
All right. So you wake up. The light is slowly going away. The cave light is shining out a little bit from the entrance. What would you like to do?
So just for a being that I don't know what happens when you have a long rest. What happens to your hit points? Do you regain any?
Yeah, everything goes back to full after your long rest.
Is there a quick and easy way to do that? Or
yeah. The top of your sheet says long rest.
Oh, got it. Brilliant. Okay.
And then you just say confirm.
Yeah. You got to confirm.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And what you'll notice when you're in there is it tells you what happens when you click on it. So it says it will recover certain number of hit dice.
Right.
Which spells you can change, all of those sorts of things. Okay, so
let's go to the rave.
Having finished up, what would you like to do? Cirrus sort of still mentions that if we're going to do this properly, we have to clean out these caves before we go back to Bear's Run to hand something over. That's what the book says. That's what Fevin told you, I'm guessing, as well.
So should we try and shut the water off if we think the water could be the source of the...
Well, there's this other room up the top here that we haven't fully explored yet.
And
there's the room there that we... Yeah,
and there's the noise...
Which is coming from the same direction as the smell that Toe smelled.
My concern is that those two tree people have dragged all those people back into the water while we've been there overnight.
I agree. I would. Yeah, let's solve the first issue before we walk into the unknown.
Into the unknown. Sorry.
Quite.
I'll rush down here.
I apologise.
I could sneak
rush
up.
down here.
Non-alcoholic gin, mate. It's no good for you.
Because I've got night vision as well, I could have had a look and snuck up.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you walk in. Some of you. So Cirrus is just trying to be as quiet as possible, walking in behind. Are you going into the southern part first?
Just to have a look.
Yeah,
Okay.
hide in here. I'm
Gonna
supporting.
sneak in.
Okay, so
just
Yeah, be here.
you've
I've
got
got my
enough
hand on his shoulder.
got enough bioluminescence sort of up to this sort of edge here. When you look in, the creatures that were on the side are sort of have now like become like little dust piles on the ground, not
So,
moved anywhere.
Proper dead.
You look up. What do you have? 60 feet? 5, 10,
Yeah.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, yeah, 60. Yeah, you're just roughly in. You see that these creatures are still stuck in the pool where they are and haven't seemed to have moved.
Okay.
They
We're
do
clear,
seem
guys.
they do
We're
seem
clear.
a little bit slightly bigger or slightly more less damaged than they were before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I'll say back to them like the group. Like, we're clear. They've not moved. Should we go? Let's go to the north.
Yeah, cool.
Good idea.
How's that smell that I got yesterday with you in this big area?
Where are you standing at the moment?
In the building?
Okay. At the moment, it's not any greater or less than what it was before. It's probably a little bit lighter. As you walk through that part of the tunnel for the first time, I think Bertram's the only one who's flown in that area.
Yeah.
Keith and Garavid, make a, as you're walking around there, make a perception check.
Accepted.
Okay. As you walk in this area, Garavid, sort of around, sort of in this space, you notice that the bioluminescent element in this room doesn't seem as thick in this corridor. It doesn't seem as thick as it has on other areas that have had this bioluminescence. And from the east, you do get sort of out to the east of this, so to the right of screen, you do sort of get a little bit more of a pungent smell in there, and you would hear also still coming off to the eastern direction, this thud sound. Yeah, but other than that, like, you just doesn't seem as thick as it was in other areas. Are you all going together, or are you sort of some of you wandering off in the space?
Let's all go together, shall we?
Yeah, I'm going to keep up with Garavid, going up to the north.
All right, so you move off with Garavid up to the north.
I'll wait till everybody else has come up before having a little
Moving
on
around.
there.
So again, where you're standing right now, the luminescent sort of material is now quite thick on the walls, giving off a lot of light. The other corridor not as bright and light, a little bit less dense in that area. As you move forward north into this northern cavern, so again, I think Garavid, you don't have a lot of dark vision, but there's enough of that bioluminescent area there as you walk in. Are you walking in quietly, or?
Yeah, I think we're going quite quietly now.
There?
We're not going to do it like D-Day with somebody playing the bagpipes.
Okay. So make you can all make some stealth rolls as you're walking in.
Nice, this one.
Keith, you literally are playing the bagpipes, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Playing Ride of the Valkyries as he walks in.
All right, you walk in. I'll just roll one for Cirrus, who's hanging around with you as well. Okay, that's not too bad. All right, 12. Was that a disadvantage or advantage, Toe, or was it just a second roll?
No, it was a mistake. Take it, first one.
Okay, so as you walk around this tunnel, Thingo, you walk into the room. Okay, Garavid, was yours at disadvantage?
Yeah, because I got this chainmail on.
Okay, no. All right, it's not too bad. What are you doing? Are you stepping in?
So I can see what I can see here, yeah?
You can see what you can
There's,
see
like,
there at this
stairs
moment in
going
time. You
There's
sort of
nothing
look,
on the floor, there's nothing...
look in. You can see that like the things on the floor here are sort of not necessarily there. They're just sort of some broken twigs and branches and some other things there. There's some scratch marks and whatever as you walk in. Emmanuel, you walk up to that area. You're all relatively stealthy as you walk in. You come in and you look around this room, and it's quite a big space, a little bit of an empty space. Are you looking for anything specific, or are you just...
Do we hear does a noise? Do we hear that boom 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 noise at all while we're here?
Where's that coming?
Don't hear any boom 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 in this room, and there's no sort of specific acrid smell in this room.
Boom boom in this room.
Yeah, definitely not a
The chill out room.
Not the boom boom room.
It's not the boom boom room.
Are you looking for anything specific, or just
have a look around and see what's
just
about?
looking around?
Yeah.
The ceiling.
Garrett can have a look up in the ceiling if you would like to.
No, we've all spread out in the room.
You've all spread out.
Just here.
Emmanuel, Keith, Toe, roll a dexterity check for me as you get up there.
Oh God!
No.
Death. Insta-death.
Go on, little thing. There we go. Right.
Oh, and...
Oh, even more death.
All right.
Should we check for traps?
Emmanuel. Emmanuel, does an 18 hit you?
Most certainly.
So, as you sort of stepped up there to where you were, sort of
can I... my shield spell that I've got prepared,
Yeah.
would that be something that I could do?
Yes. If it
Is
gets
that
you
something I can... A reaction thing, if I'm hit or targeted by
yeah, it's a reaction.
attack, yeah.
So if it gets you
can
above an 18, then you would be...
It would get me above an 18.
Okay, so Emmanuel, you can if you want to. So this creature, this sort of similar, sort of tipped shaped creature, pops down whack-a-mole style from the roof and takes a swipe out at you as Emmanuel sort of sticks up his sort of arm, and a sort of shield of light comes around it and blocks off this creature, and it swings and goes wide and slowly starts to move itself back up a little bit. Keith, where you are standing, coming from above, comes down. Does a 15 hit?
Yes.
As this creature comes down from above, you take 1 point of poison damage. and roll a Constitution save for me.
Go on, I've got to make one good roll tonight.
Whoa.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
This creature comes down and it sort of like just a small little like almost like the root of this thing, a little sort of tentacly sort of style root comes down and it touches on your shoulder and you feel like this bit of poison comes into your system. It's not too strong, and it then goes back up again. You feel it sort of almost try to puff out at you this same spore-like spray at you. It sort of goes, but then you sort of step away quick enough and it doesn't sort of get to your face. It tries to fire out a short-range spore, but you just duck out of the way
Your mask on.
of it. Toe, you're okay where you are. It made a choice between the two of you, it seems, based on how quick you might be able to move. Okay, it starts to go back up, and same with the other one on this side. What would you guys...
Like the noise that is similar to that boom boom we were hearing before?
What was that?
Do they make that kind of boom boom noise when they hit the ground that we were hearing before?
No. These are just more like a...
He missed the blobby noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
I'm
like
going to back off from mine.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to back off from mine as well towards the door.
Okay, you both back off. These things are slowly moving up, back up into their sort of whacker holes.
If I can, before it goes in the whack hole, I would like to firebolt it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to blast it.
Send off a firebolt. You're firing the one that had a shot at you.
I most certainly am, cheeky
That
bastard.
hits and it sort of just explodes
Yeah.
in, and even the spores that come out of it to try to come out 20 feet away actually incinerate in fire and flame before they get even far away from its body, as it collapses in a heap and is dead on the ground. Okay.
Very good.
I think I'll do the other one.
Alright, Garavid is firing out at the other one. You
And miss.
hit it
Oh, bloody hell.
where it is. You smack into this creature in the air and it explodes.
Just cheekily moving out of the way. I think you were at 25 anyway.
Toe.
That was so well timed.
10,
Yeah,
15,
he was
20.
at 20. He was at
Oh,
20.
and I would
10,
realize
15.
that, oh shit, he's firing at this. I should get out of the way, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Roll a... Roll an acrobatics check. Constantine, you also roll an acrobatics check.
Ah,
And okay, Constantine manages to take that 5 foot of movement back that he needed to do. Toe, you do it, but you're just a little bit too late as you go to get back. Garavid, even though you were told by Emmanuel earlier on in the piece that you needed to be 20 feet away from this creature,
Well, to be fair, I measured 20 feet, but
but you measured it to the middle of the creature
Yeah,
and not to
from-
where he actually, where I have my 20 feet.
Very selective measuring.
And given Eldritch Blast fires 120 feet, you didn't even need to cut it close. So please, both of you, roll Constitution saving throws for me.
ah, easy.
Oh, just lost a dice. Oh, that's a massive roll. Okay.
Oh dear.
Garavid,
long rest.
Garavid, did you roll?
Do I have to roll as well?
Yes.
But I'm nowhere near.
You're 20 feet away, sir.
I'm 15.
You're 20 feet away.
Oh, I am 20 feet away. What was that? Constitution.
Yes.
Where's that? Constitution save. Oh.
All right. Both of you take 17 points
Long rest.
of damage.
Back out the cave.
God.
17 points of poison damage as you fire your Eldritch Blast but forgot to tell anyone to stand back. This creature explodes, and unlike the firebolt that manages to get rid of it beforehand, this spreads out fast enough. Constantine does a backflip away and manages to get out of the area, but unfortunately you're both hit. Please both roll a d12 for me.
17 wasn't enough for you. Greedy bastard.
And lose 1 hit point for 3 rounds, something like that. Or even more.
You die in 3 rounds.
Yeah.
You explode.
And what's your constitution score?
14.
Is high bad for this?
You're about to find out again.
All right. 1 second. So, Toe, you rolled a 10. Sorry, 1 second. I need to check something.
Yeah, nice long rest.
Back outside, everyone.
Back outside, boys. another night. We fancy a game of cards.
Yeah, we tried. We tried. Come on.
1 second. Sorry, apologise. All right. Roll a. That. Roll a d. Just 1d6 for me, both.
Oh, that's right.
Think I'm keeping it consistent.
No, I'm rolling well.
All right. So 1 second. All right. Oh, okay.
You enjoying yourself, Mark? Just you're fucked.
The simple things in life. Toe, you step back and you get a face full of this these spores that pop out straight into your sort of lungs, and you're taken back a little bit, but it sort of just gets a little bit of it. Garavid, as you fire out your Eldritch Blast, and this creature was heading up back in, for whatever reason, there's almost like a blowback as you hit into this creature, and the Eldritch Blast sort of goes through it and explodes just behind it and manages to blast a whole massive amount of spores in sort of a real clump straight at you into your face. And whether it's your dragon-born origin or the way that your system is different to others, you get a lot of these spores in your face, in your sinuses, into your chest, into your lungs. You are struggling to breathe at this point in time. You are really, really struggling at this moment in time. I will get you to just take 1 level of exhaustion on your chart there, so you'll have disadvantage on ability checks as this massive amount comes into you. And Cirrus, who had read the book earlier, just goes, "Oh, that can't be good."
Should we not get the cleaning organism up your nose?
Into his
Eat all the
lungs.
spores
Yeah,
out.
that might work. Yeah.
Mundus, just lie down. Let Mundus do his business.
Good idea, though. For real.
What would you like to do? So you basically get that this creature does explode, and there's nothing else that you seem to have seen on the roof as you now search and scan the roof. What would you like to do?
There's nothing else around.
Is the roof clear now of these things?
The roof seems to be clear in this room, yes.
Can I go around the walls and try and see if there's any kind of passageway or secret hatch or door or something?
Is this? What's this? Steps down, steps
Yeah,
up.
just sort of it's a little bit of a step to a higher level in this area, but doesn't seem to be. You can make a perception check in this room if you want to, Toe. If you're looking sort of for anything specific. So you do a look around, and everyone else has been in this room, and you've noticed throughout the period of time when you're walking through a space with this bioluminescence that it sort of gives this same light off the wall. And this room seems to be lighting up the same way as it has in every other room that's had this bioluminescence. So you don't seem to notice in this room anything weird about the way that luminescence shines off the wall. So yeah, you with that check, you definitely don't find any hidden areas or tunnels, but you definitely notice that it seems to be acting normally as what you've seen in the rest of the tunnels.
Okay.
So far from your checks of all of the roofs in these spaces, Manuel had done a lot of checks in the other room as well. It seems as if you've cleared out the roof of any of these spore-like creatures, these large mushroom-like creatures, although you've at least 5 of you in the party have now been smacked in the face from the clouds of spores that have been emanated out from these creatures.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I'd like to try and head back to try and get to where the thumping sound is the loudest.
Okay.
And kind of retrace our steps. It seems like the loudest noise was kind of around the middle by the bridge.
So far you've always heard, anyone who's heard this thumping noise, you first heard it when you were in here, where you heard a massive thud, which you haven't heard again. You heard this massive crash of almost like an avalanche sound of just whatever happening. But since then, you've only really heard these sort of thud, thud, thud parts happening since then. But the first one was really a lot happening. Since then, it's been smaller versions of that.
There was one corridor where there was less bioluminescence. Was that this one?
So I think the two walked through this way,
Right,
Garavid and Toe. No one else, I think, has walked through there as of this moment in time.
And I will head down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would like to either investigate or search down here for trying to find if we can hear if the noise is coming from behind the wall or.
Yeah, I'll look for anything odd in the wall, the shape of the bioluminescence, if there's anything weird going on.
Okay, make a nature or investigation as you're sort of looking to the walls to see if there's any differences, changes, other than the fact that the thickness of the algae sort of thing is smaller in this area. Okay, Manuel, as you walk down, and everyone sort of starts to walk along this area, you'll notice as you walk through this sort of path area here, which has less and less of this thickness of the wall, what you would notice, or if Keith sort of was to walk in front as he walks past, you would have noticed on the left-hand side for about a 15-foot length of space, you would have noticed that it doesn't really react to him walking past in that area. This sort of area on the wall. It just sort of, on the right hand side, it lights up as you're walking along. Any touch of it really lights up big, but on the left hand side, it really is quite dim in how it lights up on that side.
Okay, can I draw people's attention to this and have a closer look at this section of wall and see?
You can. So everyone clumps up, and Emmanuel points out that there's something on this wall here.
I touch the wall.
You put your hand up against the wall. It feels like a stone and rocky wall.
I kind of apply force. Like, put some pressure, just...
Okay, you're trying to, like, push it in or something?
Just to see if it moves really easily. Like, I'm very weak.
Yeah, no. So there's no movement. It feels like a solid, a solid wall when you put your hand on it and try to push on it. There's nothing.
I was just kind of making sure it wasn't like an illusion of a wall.
Yeah, no. It definitely feels like a wall. Where you are at this moment in time. You didn't
got any detect magic or anything like that? Detect traps?
I can do detect magic. It'll take 10 minutes for me to cast the spell from my book. But I could do detect magic if you so desire, my sweet prince. But while I'm doing that, do you lot want to have a proper shifty round with it? Check if you can push it, pull it, kick it,
lick it, rub
lick it. Yeah.
Roll it.
Can I have an investigation, because I've got a bit of height and over Keith, the bits he can't reach.
Emmanuel's already sort of looked around and looked at the wall to see and notices there's something there. Keith's sort of pushed up against it. What do you want to do to try to investigate? Like, what are you looking for specifically?
Cracks.
Yeah, any indentations, any holes, anything.
Big iron levers.
Big arrows that say door. Or something. Is there anything?
It's just a giant thing saying "click this rock here" and it will open up. No, you look at it, and other than the fact that the sort of this mossy algae, whatever it is, this plant life on the wall that is not giving off as much light in this area, it looks like. From the sort of touch investigations that you've done so far, it looks just like a wall. It's
there's no pick marks on it or anything like that. There's no sign.
Doesn't seem to be anything from this side of the wall that looks like anything's like it just looks.
And is the noise the loudest at this point?
If you're listening out for the noise, make a perception check. Probably do that at advantage, actually, given that you're sort of standing in this sort of area. It's probably the closest you'll get to whatever the noise is
shift. There we go.
Doing.
Still rubbish. Terrible.
At the moment in time, you're not hearing any specific noise. It hasn't sort of done that thud, thud, thud while you're listening in this space.
Anything on the floor? Anything on the ceiling around this area?
Like
a welcome mat.
Or like if something's moved, you can see the track marks in the floor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No. No. There's nothing.
I don't think there's anything here, boys.
I think it might just be a wall.
I think it may just be a wall.
There's nothing there.
A wall is a wall. If it looks like a wall, if it quacks like a
feels
wall,
like a wall. Does it smell like a wall?
Occam's razor.
Is it still right?
It looks like a wall that smells like a wall. So there is sort of a permutation of a smell that's sort of an odor in this area that's a little bit more than what it is anywhere else.
Keith apologizes for the smell.
Yeah. So and yeah, passive perception check. They all look at Keith and try to work out what he just did. Anyone can roll. Anyone can try to roll. You're obviously all looking in this area, trying to work out why this is different to other areas and see whether anyone who wants to can roll a nature or a history check.
I've got a +6 on nature.
Oh, Emmanuel has just hit a 19 on history.
I'll do.
Or
Take
To's
that.
got a 15 on nature as well. I'm not rolling again. Not today.
Constantine, roll your nature check. Cirrus will also roll. Will roll. Yeah. So Cirrus doesn't. Oh no, that's the first one. Yeah, actually, so Constantine between. Okay. It seems, and you've seen other elements like this in this cave, the little corner bits where the stone is a little bit less dense in a certain direction. Some other elements of this cave, you've sort of noticed that the bioluminescent stuff doesn't shine as brightly on the corners as it does sort of in large flat areas. Seems as if this is like the natural occurrence of this rock seems natural, but it seems as if maybe there's a different thickness or depth to the rock in this area than what it might be elsewhere based on that. And from your history books and reading a lot, you might sort of deduce that there may be some sort of airflow or something that changes this temperature difference between this area, and so maybe that's why the moss is not growing as well or as strongly in this area as other areas maybe.
Who's going to blast the wall?
Yeah, can I tap the wall? Can we ascertain? I guess we've ascertained that it's thinner. Do we think we can break through it? Should we try?
You can certainly try. Cirrus probably, if he was here, would also suggest that he could take a whack at it with his hammer as well, war hammer as well, if you want to. But try amongst yourselves first.
Do you want to Eldritch Blast it, Prince?
Yeah, could do. Stand
Yeah,
back.
I've got anything. So
I'm going to stand well back.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a force spell.
I'm guessing everyone's going to stand back from
I'm going to stand
this.
behind him.
Yeah, Emmanuel should get out of there. Okay, go for it. Make a attack roll against the wall. Not a very high DC. You fire out a massively hard blow at this. I need to quickly check something.
Back.
So maybe some of the tree people tried to escape us by burying themselves in the thing. They will not escape. It's like the beginning of Inglourious Bastards. It's like, gonna get every last one of you.
It's a bit like the Anna Frank diary, isn't it, really?
I like killing Nazis.
You all see Garavid sort of fire off, and this is like quite a strong blast at this part of the wall, and does a fair bit of like damage to this sort of area on the wall, and leaves sort of like a big chunk of the wall there missing. You still see a little bit of wall behind it, but you hear this like you heard it sort of do this like loud like cracking thud into this wall, and it drops down onto the ground. The roof shakes a little bit around, some debris falls, You also then hear a thud, 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 thud on the other side of where you fire this. It's not fully broken, but you can now see that you've weakened this area, and maybe another one or two people hammering at it, or firing off another blast or two may knock this wall down. What do you do?
Maybe that thumping is something on the other side trying to get out. Just
It
saying.
hasn't done a very good job, has it?
No.
Thin wall.
Thin wall, true.
It could well be something guarding the other side of the wall, or any of these things. But
I like
so
the idea of standing back and blasting it.
Yeah.
'cause at least we're
Yeah.
not
Hit it
right-
again.
Yeah.
right in front of it. All right.
One more time.
Another big hit.
Ooh,
You fire into this part of the wall, and you do a mighty amount of damage, and you all see as this wall here just collapses and leaves, let's say, a 10-foot by 10-foot conveniently hole in the wall, and a large gust of air that has a slightly different, like musty, acrid smell, and you get that smell again, toe from that area as it wafts out between the two different densities and flies actually literally in your all direction, but it's just a waft of the foulest smelling, dankest air. Also, if any of you want to make a sort of an insight or perception check as that air flies past you, you can, as you also hear a thud, 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 thud on the other side. Garavid, you remember this smell. You've been really close to this smell in the past, actually on the docks when you first got there a few days. Now it feels like a lot of days, but it's actually only been about 4 days since you've all met each other. That smells a little bit like a troll. That troll smell as this part of the wall collapses, and on the other side, not a lot of light shines through, which sounds like a good name for a song. As on the other side of the wall, are you walking up to it, or are you standing where you are?
I'll walk up to peer down.
Yeah, if we don't see
Round
anything.
chin. Have a little nosy round here.
Keith walks up, and with his night vision, steps around the corner and sees a troll looking at this wall that has collapsed, looking confused as hell for a troll, which is even more confused than he normally would look. He looks back towards the other side, to the east of where he was, looks back at this wall, and just, in the most broken common, calls out and goes, "Oh shit." And that is where we'll end this session.
Oh,
Nice.
you pick some really good cliffhangers.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just readying me witch bolt then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Then
fact,
get
it's
a
the
bolt
fact
off,
it's,
then storm in.
it's the troll that said "oh shit" though.
Yeah.
It's him that's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
no.
more
He's
pesky
seen
fucking
what we-
adventurers.
He's seen what we do.
Yeah.
No
Kill
prisoner.
team.
That's what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that is where we would pick up in the next session. Yeah.
Good fun,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Good
That's
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
Again.
thanks very much.
Lot of
That's
fun.
good. Cool.
And we'll,
That was awesome, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick it up
thank
next
you,
week. Thanks as well. And
I'm just looking at, if you zoom out on this map though,
Oh, it's massive.
it's really because you look at a small little bit and you think,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. And then the whole thing is, we've looked to like a third.
If that.
Over how many 4 sessions? 3 sessions?
Yeah, it's
One,
it's
two.
Dungeons and Dragons, mate. So the dungeons have got to be big.
Yes, true.
The dragons will be there somewhere. Oh, talking of which, actually,
Ooh.
before I know we're playing, but I got because Sam really wants to play.
Yeah.
He got this
Oh, very cool.
D&D Essentials kit.
Oh right, wow.
So everything you need to create, basically, it's got its own kind of game to play and a map and.
If he has a bunch of friends, mate, and you wanna sort of have me run a little one-shot session for them, I'm more than happy to do something.
Excellent, yeah, because he wants to kind of get into it. It's because you can play this one. You can play with just 2 players, like one, like a DM, because you can create sidekicks.
Yeah.
Right.
To go with him. So, just thought I'd
give it
a go.
Cool.
See if he wants to get involved. And obviously, once he goes back to school, get some friends involved. Yeah, see.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's cool nowadays, so he won't be bullied. That'll be fine.
Exactly. It's cool now.
Gone are the days.
Yeah, absolutely. Where it's like, you nerds play it in the toilets, and we'll just piss on you as we walk past. Or maybe that was just my school. I don't know, but yeah, cool. Right, thanks very much, gentlemen. It's been a long week already.
Yeah.
So I wish you good night and see you all next week.
Take care.
Thanks all.
Bye bye.
See ya. Wow, that is end of a long session. I have to log myself out so I'm in the middle. Cool session. Enjoy always playing these sessions with these gentlemen. Let's see what happens next week in Festivals and Fear. Have a good one.